The Raiders are about to pull off two massive moves at the same time, and nobody in the NFL saw this coming. Not the analysts. Not the rival teams. Nobody. And if these deals actually go through, Las Vegas will never look the same again. The quiet move Las Vegas is planning right now. Here is the thing about the Raiders front office right now. They are not making noise. They are making moves. And the first one involves a name that most people are sleeping on. According to reports, the Las Vegas front office has been watching the veteran wide receiver market very closely. And one specific player has started showing up in those private conversations more and more. That name is Josh Palmer. He is 26 years old, he plays for the Buffalo Bills right now, and his future in Buffalo became very uncertain after the team made some aggressive changes to their roster and their salary cap this offseason. Bleacher Report's Christopher Knox reported that Palmer became a potential trade candidate after Buffalo added new offensive weapons and reorganized their entire financial structure. And when the Raiders' name started showing up as a possible landing spot, people inside the NFL started paying close attention. Why? Because Las Vegas still does not have a reliable number one wide receiver to support their young quarterback Fernando Mendoza in what is shaping up to be a make-or-break development season. Think about that for a second. You are putting a young quarterback on an NFL field without a true go-to receiver. Does that sound like a recipe for success to you? Drop a name below. Who do you think is most to blame for the Raiders' receiver problem right now? Head coach John Spyatek has said publicly that he believes in his current receiving group. But he has also admitted there is a lack of proven production at the position. That is where Palmer fits in perfectly. He is not a flashy superstar. He does not show up on highlight reels every week. But he is consistent, he produces when it counts, and he has posted multiple seasons with over 500 receiving yards in a tough AFC division. ESPN's Aaron Schatz recently noted that the Raiders' biggest weakness is still an outside receiver who can open up the field and take pressure off tight end Brock Bowers. Palmer is exactly that kind of player. He would come in without the pressure of saving the offense but with enough skill to make an immediate impact in Clint Kubak's system. And here is something that makes this trade even more realistic. Buffalo could save millions in cap space by moving Palmer after June 1st. That means there is real financial motivation for the Bills to pick up the phone. If the Raiders can land Palmer without giving up high draft picks, they walk away winners. But if you think Josh Palmer is the biggest story here, wait until you hear the name that is making the entire NFL stop and stare. The four-time Pro Bowl name linked to Las Vegas. Forget the quiet moves. This next one is loud. According to Sports Illustrated's Mike Kadlick, the Raiders have emerged as one of the strongest potential destinations for Stefon Diggs. Yes, that's Stefon Diggs. The four-time Pro Bowl wide receiver who is one of the most respected players at his position in the entire NFL, and who is now looking for a fresh start after his time in New England came to an end. And the connection between Diggs and Las Vegas actually makes a lot of sense when you break it down. The biggest reason is Fernando Mendoza. The Raiders know from history that putting a rookie quarterback on the field without elite weapons around him can destroy a franchise before the project even gets started. Management seems absolutely committed to making sure that does not happen. Right now, the Las Vegas wide receiver room has some interesting pieces. Trey Tucker has flashed potential. Jalen Naylor was brought in to add depth. And Jack Beck is working hard to earn a bigger role. But none of those guys scare opposing defenses. None of them force a safety to change their entire game plan. Diggs does. The numbers do not lie either. In 2025, Diggs played all 17 games and finished the season with 85 catches, over 1,030 receiving yards, and 4 touchdowns. That was the 7th time in his career he crossed the 1,000-yard mark. Even in a difficult situation, in a turbulent environment, he kept producing at an elite level. Kadlick made a point that stands out. Diggs has a track record of making quarterbacks better around him. He has been a key piece in multiple offensive breakouts throughout his career. For a young passer like Mendoza, having a veteran receiver who can beat single coverage and win contested catches is not just helpful. It is transformational. There is also something important happening behind the scenes. Las Vegas can offer Diggs something that very few teams can give him right now. He would be the clear number one receiver from day one. No competition for targets. No sharing the spotlight. He would be the main guy. And in Kubak's new offense, which is designed to be faster, more vertical, and more aggressive, a smart route runner who exploits mismatches would thrive. There is also a competitive message being sent here. The Raiders know they are behind the Kansas City Chiefs, the Denver Broncos, and the Los Angeles Chargers in the AFC West right now. But signing a player of Diggs' caliber would instantly change how the rest of the league looks at Las Vegas. It would not just improve the roster. It would announce that the Raiders are done waiting. But here is what will really surprise you. Even before these signings happen, the Raiders are already climbing the NFL power rankings. And the reason why tells you everything about where this franchise is truly headed. Why the NFL is starting to respect the Raiders again for years. The Raiders have been a punchline. Constant coaching changes. Bad drafts. No identity. Season after disappointing season. But something different is happening right now in Las Vegas. And people around the league are starting to notice. ESPN just released a new power ranking that placed the Raiders at 28th in the NFL. That is still low. Nobody is pretending otherwise. But here is the important part. It is real progress for a team that was considered one of the most directionless franchises in the entire league just 12 months ago. ESPN's Ryan McFarton specifically pointed to the rebuilding of the quarterback position as the main reason for this shift in perception. The arrival of Fernando Mendoza completely changed the franchise's offensive future. And the signing of veteran Kirk Cousins brought immediate stability at a position that had been a revolving door for years. Cousins is not there to be the long-term answer. He is there to protect Mendoza from being thrown into the fire too early and to win games while the rookie gets comfortable. And behind the scenes, Mendoza is doing everything right. Even before the draft, he was already deep in his film study on West Coast offense concepts. Scouts and evaluators who watched him work were impressed by how fast he processes information, how accurate he is on intermediate routes, and how quickly he makes decisions when the pocket collapses. Some people inside the Raiders coaching staff believe he could push for the starting job during training camp faster than anyone expected. The other major shift is the offensive identity being built by Clint Kubak. For years, the Raiders changed their entire system every time they hired a new coach. There was no continuity, no foundation. Now there is a real plan, a fast, modern, vertically aggressive offense built around movement before the snap and constant pressure through the passing game. That is exactly why the front office keeps pushing to add more weapons for Mendoza. Brock Bowers is already an elite piece of this offense. He proved that last season. But the Raiders understand that one great tight end is not enough. They need a wide receiver who can take over a game when it matters most. Whether that turns out to be Josh Palmer, Stefon Diggs, or someone else entirely, that search is the defining mission of this offseason. The 2026 NFL Draft also gave Raider Nation real reasons to feel good. Multiple national analysts called Las Vegas's draft class one of the smartest the franchise has put together in years. The focus was clear: build a roster that fits Mendoza's strengths and gives him the best chance to succeed. The AFC West is still brutal. The Chiefs are still the Chiefs. The Broncos and Chargers are both legitimate threats. But for the first time in a long time, the Raiders do not look like they are 5 years behind. They look like a team with a real plan, real players, and real momentum. The big question for Raider Nation, so here is where it all comes together. If the Raiders land Josh Palmer and create an efficient role player in Kubak's system, that is one thing. But if they somehow pull off a Stefon Diggs signing on top of that, and Fernando Mendoza delivers on even half the potential he showed before the draft, Las Vegas could shock the entire NFL in 2026. The question is, do you believe it? Can the Raiders actually close the gap on the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Chargers this season? Or is it still too early to get excited? Drop your honest take in the comments right now. And if you want to stay on top of every Raiders move as it happens, make sure you are subscribed. This story is far from over.